Sweet. Alright. So, you see my screen?
Yep.
Sweet. It's SpellForce III is coming out? Have you heard of SpellForce 1 and 2?
I do not believe so.
And 3 with Reforced sounds like a remaster.
Possibly.
It's already out, apparently, though, for PC. So.
THQ Nordic.
So. Yeah. I'm surprised I haven't heard anything about it, to be honest with you. I'm curious.
It evidently did well enough to get 2 sequels.
Yeah. Yeah, 74%. It's not bad.
Yeah.
What's its overall Metacritic? 73. Yeah, that's not bad. Apparently I've been sleeping. Makes an excellent fusion of RPG and RTS.
Real time.
Yeah, I don't know if I like RTS, but and yeah, I knew this. KOTOR 2 is coming to the Switch. Just the port.
Strangely enough, this is one Star Wars game that I have not played.
You haven't played any of the KOTORs or just KOTOR 2?
No, just 2. I've played 1.
You played the important one. But you're a huge Revan fan. I'm surprised you didn't play 2.
Is Revan in 2?
I thought he was.
I don't believe he is. Because I'm pretty sure the canon main character in 2 is a female.
You see in the first one. This is. Well, you're not Revan.
No, I knew you're not Revan.
Yeah, this is saying, are you Revan card? No. But the game allows KOTOR 2 allows for you to choose who Revan was, who he loved. Is Revan... I guess not. What happened in Revan? Revan reemerges. Joe team of Republican interest,
Yeah, see, I've read the book that takes place after the first game. And, yeah, Revan gets... It's super complicated. Like, if you remember in the first game, he... What happens? He disobeys the Jedi Council and goes and helps the Republic during the Mandalorian Wars.
Yeah.
Which gets him exiled from the Jedi. And then he gets... While he's on that, they come across the hidden homeworld of the Sith, where he gets brainwashed and turned into a Sith. And then his apprentice turns on him, and then he gets brainwashed back into a Jedi. Like,
yeah.
And all that takes place in the game, or right before the game starts, because you start right after he got brainwashed the second time.
Yeah. The second time you have a blank slate and people are playing with your memories.
Yeah. But then you slowly learn who you are and break that memory block.
Yep.
And then that game ends, and then the book picks up afterwards. And then what happens in the book is a Mandalorian comes and asks him for help, because during the Mandalorian Wars, apparently Revan found the Mask of the Mandalore, which is what determines who is the leader of the Mandalorian.
Nice.
And hid it. But because of the memory blocks, he doesn't remember where he hid it.
That's great.
So yeah, the book goes on this whole thing about him going on an adventure to try to find this mask because he wants to give it to somebody he trusts, because the Mandalorians are like going crazy trying to find it. and all this stuff. And upon doing so, he once again stumbles upon the Sith homeworld.
Damn, he is really good at finding that.
And he comes across a Sith who wants to overthrow the Emperor. And they work together, and they go to try to overthrow the Emperor, and then the Sith turns on him. And the Emperor.
No one's surprise.
Yeah, and so the whole thing the book's actually really important because it explains why the Emperor can live for like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
And he uses the process that he used to give himself life for 2,000 years on Revan and the other Sith. The reason he did is that he makes the other Sith his, what he calls his hand, which is basically his instrument of destruction or whatever. His personal hitman or whatever.
Yeah, bitch. You do it. Yeah, go ahead, do the physical tasks I need done.
And he uses it on Revan so that he can have an everlasting torture subject.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Revan's literally captured for 1,000 years and just tortured for 1,000 years. And then he breaks out in the MMO.
Yeah, which is crazy. But none of it's canon now.
No. Well, Revan is canon. I don't know if that whole story is canon, but Revan has been mentioned in canon.
Oh, good.
So his existence is canon.
Yeah, but how and its importance and everything like that is in the air. I like that question, so I stopped here. Who would win, Vader versus Revan? And as much as I like Vader in terms of, like, you know, everything, like, dude, Revan was insane.
Yeah, it's because, and this is the reason I like Revan, is because you've heard the term gray Jedi or whatever. Yeah. There's no, obviously a lot of people argue there's no such thing as gray Jedi, which technically is true because Jedi is an order, it's not a side.
Yep.
There
it's
is
dark
gray.
Side of the Force, light side of the Force, and then...
And gray.
Gray.
And Revan is as gray as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, really what gray is not choosing a side, right? It's, you know, choosing whichever side of the Force is
which
best
I argue
in that situation.
He has full mastery of the Force, whereas these other people are limited to half the Force.
Yes, yep, I agree, 100%. It's funny that I found that in an article, too, that's saying pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, which is the one reason that I do like Revan. My second favorite Star Wars character is Bane, who is the one that started the Rule of Two.
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole thing was starting the fact that there's so much infighting in the Sith, and that they're watered down because they just allow anybody in. And he thought that to make them stronger, he would just kill all of them, and there would only be 2 left. And then each successive one would be stronger because the only way they could become the master is if they become strong enough to kill their master. Yeah,
there's a lot of problems with that mindset, but I do kind of, I like that thought process from from a Sith, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like, and I've seen this in Vinland Saga, which is a Viking anime. It's like, eventually you just grow old. Doesn't mean that the other person is capable of, like, or actually stronger than you.
They actually do touch on that in the books as well.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because his apprentice that he's, like, raising or grooming, it gets to the point that he actually gets impatient with her because he's like, why has she not made a move yet?
Yeah.
And so at that point, he decides that she's too weak, and he's already growing old. So what he does is goes out and looks for a way to transfer his consciousness into her body. And the whole saga actually ends with that transference taking place. But there's a side effect in it that once he transfers his consciousness into her body, there's a battle of wills within her body, and the strongest one comes out on top.
Yeah.
The book ends without you knowing which one won.
That's funny. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Did you read past that, or is there's no follow up to the book?
There's no. That's the end of the trilogy. It's 3
books. Oh my fucking god! Are you serious?
So yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, because the girl has her own secret apprentice, kind of in the same way that Darth Vader does. Mm-hmm. And if you go through the the Force Unleashed.
Yep.
And the book ends with her telling her apprentice to come on, but and they board a ship and leave, but you don't know who's in control.
Yeah.
I think it kind of alludes to that she won, but it's not definitive.
Gotcha. Darth Bane.
And Bane is absolutely canon.
Yeah. The rule
they have put him into the
thing.
Yeah, they've put him into the actual like TV shows.
Ah, nice. See, I haven't watched any of them, so I have no idea. Well, it's always a fun Star Wars tangent. Have you seen the Obi-Wan Kenobi show yet?
I have not. Yeah. No, to be fair,
I haven't.
I've only watched like. Yeah, I've only watched like 4 episodes of The Mandalorian, so.
Yeah. If it doesn't have Revan in it, I'm not interested.
Yeah, they've mentioned about doing an Old Republic TV show.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be the one thing that would make me resubscribe to Disney Plus.
I have to agree to that one.
Yeah, because that's my favorite era by far. At one point, not so much anymore, but at one point I had read every book in the Old Republic era.
That's crazy.
That was when they were canon.
Yeah. Brittany did a lot of side reading too, but she followed more of the I guess I don't know what it's actually called, but like Leia's twins, they're like
the post
post movies.
Yeah, I think it's called the New Age or New Republic.
Yeah, something like that. Before 6, 7, obviously, but
yeah, those were the ones that were really thrown out the window by the new movies.
Yes.
Yep. You can still argue that a lot of the Old Republic stuff can still be canon.
But... Yes, but you can't for those because we know who the actual successor for Skywalker is, and the twins don't exist.
Yeah. If you are really interested in a really weird Star Wars read, there are 2 books. The first one is called Red Harvest, and it takes place in the Old Republic. And both these books are actually written by the same guy, which explains why they're connected.
Schreiber.
Yeah. So, in the Red Harvest, it's basically a book that talks about a Sith who is experimenting on a way to... I can't remember exactly if it's to bring people back from the dead or if it's to stave off death. But yeah. They need a special flower to do it, and he creates this serum that does all this stuff, but really in the end it ends up creating zombies.
Yeah, the Death Troopers.
And so like Red Harvest is the origin story for the zombies.
Nice.
Death Troopers is the story for the zombie. It's not really apocalypse, but
nice. You can buy all
what it is
Amazon for $24.97.
Yeah, the serum gets loose on a jail ship, where they have a bunch of inmates, and like a lot of them get turned, and the troopers who are guarding them get turned, and you go through this whole thing, and at the end, someone's ship has docked there, and they're trying to survive the zombies or whatever, and they get to the bottom and they open a kind of isolated jail cell, and there's 2 people in it who have not been turned. It's Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Nice. Good job.
So yeah. Back when this stuff was canon, Han Solo and Chewbacca fought off the zombie invasion.
That's great. Oh, that is great, though.
It is a funny read, but yeah, it's absolutely absurd.
Sounds it. I have a question for you about why would you have a pro cycling game manager and then Tour de France coming out on the same day? But then I realized that this is a manager game, and this is probably an actual cycling game.
Are they from the same company?
I'm about to check that. Nacon, yes.
Oh,
one's PC only, too.
Like, don't get me wrong, I get racing sims. Not sure cycling? I get a biking sim.
Yeah.
Mass X to pedal. That's just a Mass X simulator.
Yeah, it's just it's a drawn out Mario Party minigame. Jesus Christ. But
the simulator I could see. The like pro cycling manager or whatever.
Oh, the manager, yeah. I mean, I don't have any idea what's involved in something like that, so could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean they do have. I know in the Tour de France you have teams.
Yeah.
And so it may be managing teams, picking which one of your
which cyclist based off of,
Yeah, which one is the main one on the team? Because, like when Lance Armstrong was doing this, he had a full team around him, and they would, like, move him to the front or get around him so other people couldn't pass, that type of stuff.
Yeah, drafting and stuff like that.
Yeah, the whole team was built to make him win. So maybe that's kind of what the pro cycling manager is team management for cycling.
Yeah, it could be pretty deep. And cycling's not one of mine, so I have no idea.
Yeah. I only know a little bit about the Tour de France, but that's about it. I'm sure there are other races out there that no one knows about.
Yeah, but this one is the Tour de France. That's true, though. Despite not following cycling, I still know what the Tour de France is, right? Like, it's probably pretty internationally known, regardless of how you feel.
Yeah, and, like, you can show me the different jerseys, and I could probably tell you what each one represents. Because, you've got, like, the yellow, which is the overall leader.
Yeah.
There's the white polka-dotted one, which I think is the mountain leg leader. Then I think there's a green, or there's another one that's for, like, rookie leader.
Let's see. Yeah, that's not exactly the colors of bike racing. Why are there so many? Oh, that's a video. I don't want a video. I'm recording a video. You can't tell me. The yellow jersey is worn by the rider leading. Yellow. Is worn by the rider leading the general classification. Competitor with the lowest aggregate time to the start of that stage. The man wearing the yellow jersey at the police on the final stage is considered the winner of the Tour de France.
Yeah, because the final stage is supposed to be a victory stage.
Gotcha.
They normally just let whoever's leading win that stage.
The polka dot jersey is given to the rider leading the King of the Mountains category. Riders are awarded points for the order they cross the summit of climbs, with more points available in the higher categories climbs. The green jersey, worn by rider leading the points classification. Okay. White jersey, the best young rider. Most competitive? Excuse me? The rider judge most aggressive. A white number on a red background. Judge most aggressive. The tour takes home the competitive war. How? What the fuck? Like, is this like road rage? Like, or like?
Yeah.
I just kick a guy off his fucking bike.
I wonder if that started as a way of signaling, "Hey, stay away from this guy."
Yeah. This guy's fucking crazy.
And then it turned into people competing for it, and so they were like, "We'll just have an award."
Jesus Christ!
Some guy shows up with a car.
Just runs over people. Most competitive. I'm thinking like Road Rage too, where someone like grabs like a chain from his jacket and just starts like trying to throw it at people as they drive by. Team classification. Team leading this category wears black numbers and yellow background, combining the teams of the 3 highest placed riders. Rainbow jersey is worn by reigning world champions. National champions jerseys. Man, there's so much. And now, it's so funny is, because I've done zero watching. Like, I think I've seen clips from when Armstrong, set records for fucking the Tour de France and shit like that. But I've never sat down to actually watch. And I just assumed it was, like, just kind of a race. And now, doing the little bit of research that even on the colors of the jersey, I've realized I have no idea what cycling's actually about.
Yeah, it's not just a race. I think it's like 20-some days. Something like that.
Yeah.
And so there are days where you race, where it's kind of like a marathon, where they just let everybody go at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's whoever crosses the finish line first wins that stage, but your overall time is still kept. And then you have time trial days where only one person is on the course at a time.
Jesus.
And so then they take your time for that to determine winners, and then you have like the mountain stages where you have to like climb mountains with your bikes. I mean, it's still roads.
Yeah,
it's not
but
like
still, it's hills. Yeah. That's still fucking crazy. Yeah, there was a lot going on that I had no idea about. So, still pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you have the final stage where the winners are already basically declared and they drink champagne while riding.
Is that a real thing?
Yes. They legitimately drink champagne while riding the final stage.
Wow. Don't drink and drive, children. I learned stuff today. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, is already out on PlayStation. I've already platinumed it. It's coming to the Switch. I don't know how that would play on the Switch, but I don't like a lot of games on the Switch, so... I think the only thing I play on the Switch are games that only come out on the Switch. Mario Strikers Battle League. What the hell? Is this like soccer on crack? Football. I don't want a podcast. Yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is like soccer meets like roller derby. I thought
Soccer
Strikers was
Brothers.
the name of the... Yeah, there we go. I thought Strikers, though, was the name of their football content. Football. Yeah, Strikers has a cult fan base. Orange charged. Sweet. So, yeah, it's Strikers, but a lot more physical. Which is saying a lot, because football itself is very physical. The Quarry.
Horror game.
Yeah, looks like it. And there's a multiplayer mode, because there always is. But yeah, gotta be real, I don't really care about that. Not my jam. Oh, man. Let's see what Google says that's happened that I've missed. In the meanwhile, oh yeah, was it you who linked the
Diablo thing?
Diablo thing?
Yeah.
I still can't believe that, dog. Like, What was... Alright, I might as well go through the whole thing. Let me just bring up the article. It costs $110,000 to fully gear up in Diablo Immortal, which is, for anyone unaware, the mobile release for Diablo that, back in now 2019? It was announced at BlizzCon to people's very angry.
Yeah, I think after this news, it's not any less angry.
Yeah, if anything, more. The fleet of players cannot earn top-rated legendary games, which are only available to some of the game's monetization and fully maxing account effectively costs $110,000 in the game's current economy.
Yeah, so when I read this article, my thinking on it is, it cost $110,000 to fully upgrade the gem. That doesn't count the money it costs to get the gem.
Nope.
Because it says later in the article that the gem drops at random from loot boxes.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my god. This is horrible.
Yeah, and I also saw another article that for free-to-play players to fully max out what they're capable of maxing out, you have to play every day for 10 years.
Yay!
So yeah, Blizzard took Bungie's 10-year Destiny plan and said, we can do that.
Roughly 10 years of playtime. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So Bellular News, Matt and Michael from this is back when I used to actually enjoy Blizzard content. He does a lot of Blizzard specific news, World of Warcraft news, stuff like that. And he's been very passive, and at least in my experience, I haven't watched him for a couple years. So generally pretty good at just kind of giving you the facts, right? He's not one of those clickbaity type people. So from this being the source of this, like, this is a real issue, right? This is not somebody who usually Blizzard's success and means his success, because that means more people are, you know, wanting to consume content for Blizzard. So for him to go on the death saying thing is probably means it's really, really bad. God. Yeah. Explaining it would take roughly 10 years playtime for a free-to-play player to fully kit out a character in the game's current iteration. They're not even, like you said, legendary items aren't even guaranteed drop for paying players. They're randomly awarded upon purchasing legendary crests, i.e. loot boxes. God, following Diablo Immortal's early launch game does indeed seem to be a true Diablo experience in more ways than not. The community began praising the core gameplay loop almost immediately upon release, though there was a dose of skepticism surrounding their monetization system, and then that may have well been warranted if Bellular News findings are correct. Damn. The game also released on PC. Okay. But yeah, why Diablo is the best franchise jumping on point? Excuse me. How can you have an article that says it costs $110,000 to fully gear up in Diablo Immortal with, you know, news and facts from Bellular, and you kind of taking all the information, and then your follow-up item is why it's the best franchise jumping on point? Does your editor read the things that he's suggesting for the content?
It's probably just a computer algorithm that's talking. It's two different people writing it, and the thing's like, oh, this one's talking about Diablo Immortal. Here's a link to another Diablo Immortal.
You're probably right. Yeah. Published 2 days ago. 4 days ago. So that, I guess that's fair, right? Because this one came out first.
Yeah, they could have wrote that and been like, oh, this is a great way to jump on. And then there's like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah. Wait a minute, I reached endgame. That's a good point. How many times have we played a game where it's like, oh, this was pretty fun, and then endgame rolls around and there's something wrong with the endgame loop? And it could be different, but every single time you get there, you're like, oh man, never mind. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, a lot more recently
than it has in the past. I agree.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if that's just games having worse and worse in game, or if it's us having higher expectations for in game that's going to keep us. I don't know.
Yeah, either that or we're just kind of bored with that same type of repetition. We need something different, like Loot River.
We don't have an end game for Loot River, though.
There is no end game. That's the trap.
You think you're done leveling up? Think again. See, we didn't use integer when we put in the level. We used a long.
You keep getting experience, dog. Oh my god. That should be great. Jeff Keighley says Summer Game Fest will be primarily focused on announced games instead of the new ones. That's interesting. Seeming how, like, most of the time, I guess I can't say that. It's usually a half and half mix, but I'm usually, if I do watch a video game news or award or conference or anything like that, I'm mostly looking for surprises, like, you know, Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, and this is actually something that Sony started a while back with their state of plays, is managing expectations for their state of plays. So they've actually gotten into the point of saying, hey, there's not going to be any God of War stuff in this one.
Yeah.
And so this seems to be kind of following in that same vein. Hey, we're not going to show new stuff.
Yeah, it's primarily focused, which does mean that, you know, there's a chance for, like, a couple of news, but... Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Because the most recent state of play was, like, third-party stuff. Like, they put it as, like, third-party and indie stuff, I think is how they did it. But they dropped some more Final Fantasy 16 stuff, which I guess is technically third-party, but it's also PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, weirdly.
So yeah, a lot of people weren't expecting the Final Fantasy to drop from that.
Oh, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson will be stopping by. That's pretty cool. Like The Rock. The show's gonna last an hour and a half to 2 hours. The host went on to use last year's Elden Ring trailer as an example of how new reveals for already announced games could still be as exciting as entirely new game announcements. Yeah, that's fair. Like, but I don't really tune into those anyway, so I'm probably not the market.
Yeah.
I just watch the clips. I let other people go through everything.
Literally, the only conferences I used to watch were, like, Sony's E3. With no E3 anymore.
Yeah.
Not really anything for a reason for me to watch.
Ryan just says GTA 6, same city, same cars, same hookers. Surprise. He's not wrong.
That is a big one coming up, though.
GTA they're
6
actually making a GTA 6?
Yes, they have. It has been officially announced now.
Oh, nice. They're tired of making money off 5. It's like, you know, Elder Scrolls and Skyrim.
Yeah, so yeah, that is a big thing in the discussion on is what will the city be for that. a lot of people are saying with the jump and advancements in games since 5 came out, there's no excuse for a non-multi-city game.
Yeah, you go to Liberty City versus San Andreas and Vice. You just go to all.
Yeah, or a completely new city.
Yeah, and just make it huge.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be huge. Like just something completely different. Like how would a Grand Theft Auto like Las Vegas spinoff type thing be?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Go through the desert and you can just bury your victims out there.
Yeah, they could have a. Well, GTA 5 has some like not really a desert, but yeah, it has a rural area like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's something you could do, and then you could really heavily put into the Casino 5 thing.
I liked the casino. That was fun.
Yeah.
The Gotham Knights game distanced itself from the Gotham Knights TV show.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that. Because they were both announced at about the same time.
I've never met this man in my life.
And every time news comes out for one, they don't differentiate from each other. They just both put in Gotham Knights, and it's like, which one?
Yeah, you need to tell me. There's a video game called.
Do I need to click on this or not? Because I don't really care that much about the TV show.
Yeah.
Because the TV show is not the Bat Family.
No. Some kids from the Batman universe band together after Batman is killed. They have nothing in common. There's a video game coming out called Gotham Knights. It's about some kids from the Batman universe who band together after Batman is killed. There's also a TV show coming out called Gotham Knights. It's about some kids from the Batman universe who band together after Batman is killed. The game is due towards the end of 2022. The show is airing in 2023. Sure doesn't make it sound like they're both very related to each other. But no, developers of the video game would like everyone to know that's absolutely not the case. The Gotham Knights game and the upcoming TV show of the same name are separate projects with no connection to one another. I can understand the legal reasons for this tweet. I don't think it's legal reasons. I think it's story expectations.
Yeah.
Because TV shows are always going to not follow comic books because of the way that TV is written versus the way video games and comic books are consumed. Court of Owls and that type of action setting translate really well to comic books and video games. It probably wouldn't translate very well to a TV narrative because it's just different.
I might argue that the Court of Owls would do decent in a mini-series.
I can see that. But the point, it's mostly that those hooks and everything that you need to do to, like, you can't start a Gotham Knights TV show on the Court of Owls.
No.
You can do that with a video game because the expectation is that the people that care about that the story will have already be familiar enough with the story, and the people that don't care about that probably just want to play it for the gameplay.
Yeah. Now, I could argue you could do the Court of Owls as like a 3rd or 4th season arc.
Yes.
Once you've established your characters and have a background, because as you know, the Court of Owls is the whole principle of the Court of Owls being introduced was to explain Batman's backstory in a different light.
Yes.
And so it would work in the same kind of narrative aspect in a TV series where, hey, we've done all this stuff up to this point, and now we find this Court of Owls, and this explains the stuff that we dealt with in seasons 1 through 3 in a way that we didn't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. And it could be a totally different lens and be something really interesting. So, and apparently, though, I didn't read the rest of the Kotaku article. They did say the show, meanwhile, is not based on the comics. It's about Batman's adopted son teaming up with the children of Batman's enemies when they're all framed for a murder they didn't commit. So they've gone totally off the fucking deep end with any canonical... I don't understand why... TV shows and every mediums do this. Because you introduced yourself to a whole bunch of fanboys to the fanboys and fangirls of said series as, hey, there's a TV show coming out about this world and universe that you're really interested in. And then you answer back with, like, oh, cool, I'm really into that stuff. Is it going to have anything to do with the stuff that I know? And they go, no, it's going to have nothing to do. And like, you're like, oh, then.
Did you see the original pilot?
No, I haven't watched any of it.
Not for this, for the Powerpuff Girls.
No. For the Powerpuff Girls? I gotta watch that.
Yes, there's a live-action Powerpuff Girls TV show supposedly coming out, and the original pilot write-up had them as, like, teenagers who were upset with the professor for making them be superheroes when they were kids.
Sorry, I have to mute this, but I am... Yeah, sugar, spice, everything nice.
I don't know if this is it. I don't think this is it.
I don't think so either. But I love it.
But yeah, it was a whole weird thing. I don't think they actually have ever made anything, so I don't think you're going to find a video. This was a write-up that somebody had got a hold of the script.
I got it. There's a lot of fan action in here, though, which is hilarious to me. Alright, anyway, yeah.
But yeah, it was a whole, like, it was like went off the deep end, like...
Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah. You gave us superpowers and we were children. We couldn't live a normal children life, and you're like...
Yeah. Basically that, and, like, the whole thing about, like...
But that's the shit that Hollywood does, and that's what I was trying to mean about, like, the Court of Owls thing. Not that it wouldn't be a good thing, it's just they never would fucking do it. Because they would never do any justice to anything that... I can't say that entirely, right? I don't follow Marvel, so maybe somebody else would have to call me up. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe for the movies, from my knowledge, obviously it's not exact one-to-one. You have to have some liberties. But from my understanding is they have been pretty true. They've changed some shit, like Aunt May, young Aunt May.
Yeah. But I think the difference is, too, is they've actually created a cinematic universe, and everyone knows it as the cinematic universe, where they are given a little bit of liberties.
Yeah.
DC, they're just like, let's throw stuff at the wall.
Yeah, and you're 100% right. They've crafted a universe, right? And that has a lot of similarities, at least to its Marvel counterparts, and you can see and understand the decisions that are made. But I'm a huge DC fan, and I hate every non-animated DC movie that's ever came out.
Yeah, and another thing with DC that we see is DC seems almost afraid to touch their main characters.
Yeah, the big trio.
Yeah, they seem. I mean, you obviously get your movies that come out, but as far as like all these TV shows and stuff that come out. It's all these side characters, or in this case, children of the supervillains, and they seem afraid to touch the big people, whereas what Marvel did was built everything around their big people.
Yes.
And then added in the extras as they went along.
Yep.
And I think that's the big difference. You've got a foundation, you need to use it.
That, and you also need to hit the right themes. I will argue that Smallville, for anybody who's watching that for the CW, is okay. It was pretty good, but it wasn't great. And the only reason why is because you don't capture the essence of what Superman is. You don't challenge Superman with... Well, first off, they introduced Doomsday before Superman was ever Superman as one of his villains. That's its own issue, right? But you challenge Superman by challenging his morals and his emotions and his way of thinking and, his humanity. You don't challenge him with villains. That's not what his thing's about, right? You're never worried that Superman's going to die.
Yeah.
And that's when you kill him, by the way.
Yeah. And I would argue that you did point out the fact about the atmosphere or whatever for these superheroes.
Yep.
And I do think that's one of the big issues that DC has with their main two, with Superman and Batman, is that their atmospheres are completely different. It's hard to put them in the same environment.
Yes. Batman is dark and gritty. Superman is never dark and gritty.
Yeah, Superman is supposed to be this hope and light and everybody can be saved, whereas Batman is, a bunch of people just died.
This is the cruel reality of life, right? Life is cruel, and, a symbol of peace and hope is what Superman's supposed to be. You don't get more polar opposites.
Yeah, and that, I think, goes back to DC's acquisition of Action Comics, because at that point they were separate.
Yeah.
And you did have DC Comics, which was built more around Batman, and then Action Comics have the world built around Superman.
Yeah.
And then now they're in the same world, and it's like, how do we put these together?
Yep.
And it almost feels like, this is weird for me, because I think you and I agree a lot on Batman being more of my go-to than Superman.
Yeah.
But for these two to coexist, you almost need Batman to be more Bruce Wayne than Batman.
I agree.
Because in the actual comic world or whatever, Bruce Wayne owns the newspaper that Superman works for.
Yep.
So that is their connection. And that's the only way that it makes sense in my head for them to have any sort of relationship. And I know in the comics and cartoons and stuff, you have the Justice League, and I don't know, just as a straight Batman fan, the Justice League just does not make sense for Batman.
No, it doesn't. I do like his inclusion, though, because his cynicism is the thing that all these superheroes need, right? Like, Superman's like, oh, it doesn't matter what threat happens, I'll be able to do everything and save everyone, right? And Batman's always sitting there, it's like, yeah, but what if you don't? What if someone uses you against us? I need to have a plan to kill every single person.
Yeah, I do think that is my favorite thing about his inclusion in the Justice League, is that he has a plan to take down every single one of them.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going to happen. He trusts nobody. That's the huge difference, right? Even if you have a very super powerful character, maybe they don't entirely trust nobody. No one is going, hey, if the Flash becomes evil or is used against us, how am I going to stop him? Because you're Superman or you're Wonder Woman, right? You'll just do the thing that you do against other villains. Batman's go, I don't have fucking superpowers, dog. I'm going to strap this thing through your leg. That's going to be a bomb.
It's like, I'm the sole possessor of 90% of the Earth's kryptonite.
Yeah, I'm ready, dog. I have a kryptonite suit. If I need to fight you... and that was, there was a TikTok, Batman versus Tony Stark thing, and people were like, oh, Tony Stark would fucking destroy Batman, and I know I'm a DC fan, so I'm already slighted in the opposite direction, but I'm like, no, Tony is a genius, I'll give you that, he's a billionaire, he's a genius, the Iron Man suit is amazing, great concept, but Batman's a fighter.
Yeah.
Like, he's he's also a genius. And
the biggest thing that I think that puts them apart is Tony Stark's arrogance.
Yes. Yep.
Tony Stark is going to go in completely thinking he has it won before he even fights. And Batman has already spent 3 months preparing for the fight.
Yep. Yeah, that, and if he's a superhero that exists in Batman's universe, he already has a contingency plan for him.
Yeah.
He already knows about fucking Tony's.
Tony Stark's gonna come in, and Batman's just gonna hit him with an EMP, and it's over.
That's the other thing too. Is some people be like, "Oh, the Iron Man suit, the Hulk suit, like, he can build all these different stuff," and I was like, "Yeah, except all this stuff requires gadgetry to work, and Homeboy has EMPs." Now get Tony Stark out of the fucking Iron Man suit because his shit doesn't work. And who's you got money on? God, people though, like, and maybe I'm a DC fanboy and I'll own it, but like people like repping like Tony Stark to the point where it's like, I saw some people in the comments who'd be like, well, even a fight to fight, like, Tony Stark, it's like, no, fucking Bruce Wayne has, I think it's 6 black belts and 6 different martial artists, and we're not talking about like black belts like what me and you, like, I'm a 2nd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I probably take off probably nobody, right? You could probably be my size and you'll still beat my ass in a fight. Even if you have no trained experience. It doesn't matter. This is like black belts where I went to the Chinese master of Kung Fu, the top one, had him train me, have him want to be me to be his successor, and I go, no, dog, and I fly somewhere else.
Yeah. And it's not only that. Batman fights dirty.
Yes, he will do whatever it takes to win, and I do agree with this fight process.
Yeah, so that, collider or whatever it is that's in Tony Stark's chest, Batman's got a plan to shut that down.
Oh, that thing's keeping you alive. Well, you're dead.
He's not going to kill you, but he's going to bring you right to the edge of death.
Yep.
You're going to wake up in a hospital somewhere.
Yep. And your bills will be graciously...
Probably with the magnet stuck back in your chest because he's taken the thing out.
So he could probably dissect it. So he can use it in his shit. But yes, I know we're both DC people, but like that shit just killed me. I was just like, dog, no. I don't think you understand, one, how brutal Bruce Wayne is. Like, I understand Tony Stark also has a rigid, sinister world viewpoint, but you really don't get darker than Batman.
No, because there's an actual argument over who wins in a fight, Batman or Superman, and I don't think anybody's picking Iron Man to beat Superman.
No.
So if you're arguing for Batman to be able to beat Superman, how are you arguing for Iron Man to be able to beat Batman?
Yeah, I agree, man. Like, I just don't get it. Like, and it was funny is, this is what they're saying. They're saying that because Iron Man went toe-to-toe in the even in the MC Universe movies, apparently, with 2 Winter Soldiers, right, between Cap and Bucky, and that he almost won or something like that. And all I was about to say is, like, don't get me wrong, Cap's cool, but he ain't Superman. Like, he's not that strong, like, in terms of, like, Superman strength or anything like that. Like, yeah, sure, he's a good soldier. But this is, like, probably, if you're lucky, Ra's al Ghul level.
Yeah. And it's kind of like, the way I mean, obviously I don't follow a lot of Marvel, and somebody may call me stupid here, but the kind of the way I look at Captain America is that he's a genetically superior human, right?
That's exactly, you nailed it. The superhuman soldier is to bring out the max human capacity.
Yeah, but Batman has done that through training.
You're making the same argument that I saw somebody else make on Batman, by the way.
He didn't need the genetic mutation. He just did it all through work.
Yes.
And the whole thing with Captain America is that this was a way to bring this out without having to force them to do the work.
Yes. Yep. He just trained to become Cap. And you're right. Like, I would put Superman on the same level in terms of raw strength and everything else as Captain America.
Yeah.
And Tony's not there.
No.
I do think Cap versus Batman would be a closer argument, and I still think Batman wins.
I would probably agree, but yeah, I do.
I do think it's close. It's not at, like... like the Tony Stark thing for me, that's not even, I don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
But Cap, I could see that being close, because Cap's weaknesses isn't really weaknesses, like the same way that Superman has a weakness. His weakness is moral weaknesses, right? Like, I'm not going to sacrifice these children to save the city, right? Or whatever the fuck it is. And Batman, as much of, he's not going to use that against Cap.
Right.
So
he's not gonna like, I'm gonna murder
these children if you
you're gonna get a literal brawl between those two.
Yes, you'll get a very close fight.
Yeah, and I would argue that Tony Stark could be at that level. But once again, I go back to the arrogance thing where Tony Stark already thinks he's at that level.
Yes. Yeah, and that's shown in the MCU all the time, right? It's like, shut up, Cap. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're old.
Yeah.
Tony just steals all their wives and girlfriends. Yeah, that's probably true. That's what Ryan just said.
Yeah. Tony has other priorities.
Yeah. He's like, hey, you may beat me in the fight, but I'm fucking your girl. Oh, man. So, I'm gonna do a quick, want to just look to see if there's anything else I missed. Final Fantasy 16 is coming in 2023. Oh, that's cool news. Street Fighter 6. Oh, it's got an overworld too? I'm gonna play the shit out of that.
It looked like an open world.
Oh, that's sick. You ever already seen it?
Yeah, it was they had a trailer at State of Play.
Oh, man, I'm gonna have to rewatch the State of Play. Resident Evil VR could be pretty interesting. I imagine this is PSVR yet.
Yeah.
And this looks, that's Leon, right? So is this a 4 remake? Yeah. Oh, that's actually be really cool. And Scarlet and Violet's 4-play co-op, sexy professors, and LeChonk. I've seen the piggy LeChonk.
Yeah, I was watching, so Dan the other night, or the other day, it may have been night, he has done a few night streams.
Yeah.
Was watching all of these trailers, which is actually where I seen them at. I didn't go watch them myself. I was watching him watch the trailers.
Oh, that's pretty cool, though.
And somebody responded in chat, if LeChonk doesn't evolve into Lethic, I'm gonna be disappointed.
And Lethic's gonna have 3 C's, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it. Yeah. So it's funny. Me and Brittany always pick up the new Pokemon games, and normally, like, I don't have a preference, or if I do, it's because of the name, right? So, like, for Sword, I like swords. I collect swords, so I got Sword, she got Shield. For this one, though, it's like I don't care.
Yeah. So. I normally just play the opposite of the one my brother does, because he normally buys the double pack, and I just take the second one.
Take the other one. Yeah. Yep, but and the game looks interesting. I mean, I'm always excited for new Pokemon games. It's really nice to just fill up a checklist of different items. So that's cool. Yeah, did you hear about this? The Dragon Age Dreadwolf? Brittany showed me this earlier. 8 years. Jesus Christ, that is right.
I still haven't beat Inquisition, so.
I platted Ink.
I just need to play it through one time and force myself not to play it as an open world RPG and play it as a story.
Just play it as a story thing, man. Just get out of the fucking, was it the hinterlands or whatever?
Yeah.
Just like, leave the first zone.
I need to collect everything.
God, I don't blame you though. Mixed reactions of Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Origins hits all major platforms later this month. And after that, we'll get a brand new Sonic game, Frontiers. Oh, that's pretty cool. If you like the Sonic stuff, I want to get back into Sonic. I like platformers, but I don't know. So that's everything I got. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you've seen?
Not that I've seen. I did mentioning Dan did remind me. We've discussed it a little bit. His run to complete Elden Ring. 100% by June. Yeah, without vigor by June 1st. He did not succeed.
Yeah, it is June 6th.
Yeah, he had 4 bosses left on June 1st, and June 1st was part of the challenge, so he had 24 hours to kill 4 bosses. He got the first one down in like 30 minutes.
Oh, nice. So 3 bosses left.
Yeah, and he runs into... If you're following the story mission, it's the second to last boss.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the final boss, you have the boss right before it, and then you have Melania, who everyone knew was going to be the hard one. So
yeah.
He got stuck on the second to last boss. Cost him like 8 hours. It's like 170 some tries. Anyway, he gets down to the final 2, and he's got an hour and a half left. And so he goes to Melania because he's going to save the final boss for the last boss. And he legitimately believes that he can complete both the bosses in 45 minutes each.
No, he doesn't. I don't believe that.
He believes it. Because he even, like, a couple days ago I was watching, he's like, man, I legitimately believed that we could do this because I honestly thought chat was, like, hyping her up.
No.
Homeboy, you've not Melania.
Seen any of the TikToks because...
Yeah. He is still on Melania.
Yep.
He is... What is it? 680 attempts in right now.
Jesus Christ.
He has made phase 1, or phase 2, one time.
Yep.
One time. And got killed immediately. As soon as phase 2 started. Because she does this little power bomb thing. And it hit him just, like, straight up. So he literally saw one move in phase 2 in 680 attempts.
Jesus Christ, man. Nope.
And so he was at one point, I think he hit eclipsed like 500 today. And he was like, somebody asked what he was going to do when he hit 1,000. And he's like, it's not going to go 1,000. And he like asked chat, and chat was like 70% thought it was going 1,000.
Yep.
He finally hit phase 2 and asked chat again, and it was like 85% thought it was going 1,000. He's like, how did that number go up?
Dude, you're definitely hitting 1,000.
It's like because some of the people that were voting for not going to 1,000 thought like you, because he actually, part of him thought too that we were joking about a phase 2. Because he had spent 500 attempts trying to get into phase 1.
Yep, getting through phase 1.
Yeah, and so when he finally hit, he's like, part of me thought you guys were joking. It's like...
You haven't even seen her second phase, dog, and you're like, oh yeah, second phase. No, for real.
And the second phase is probably worse.
It normally is.
Yeah.
Not all the time, but
not all the time. But this one, she does exactly the same thing as phase 1, but then adds Scarlet Rot on top of it.
Yep. So... and you have no Vig, dog.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's... So, the fact is he's dying so quickly that the like 680 attempts he's in haven't taken him that long. But...
Yeah, he's hitting 1,000. If I had any channel points and he made that a bet, I would bet them all.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't make any money though.
Yeah, because everyone's fucking betting on that. 85%.
That's the problem. I'm not making any channel points on these bets right now because it's like there's literally no reason even to bet on them.
I mean, what is even the bet at this point? Is it will he make phase 2?
Yeah, they've started some like weird stuff like will he stun her this run or will he die to this move this run? So once again, you're just throwing channel points at random stuff. So I'm not even betting at the moment. But yeah, it's been hilarious.
Well, Ryan apparently has started playing Genshin Impact.
I saw that last night or yesterday. I got on and saw him was
I'll
playing.
Play with people and I'll play pretty much any game, but gachas are usually not my thing.
Yeah, my brother's really big into Genshin.
Oh, see? Well, or if I get to play with, with Keith, then I'll play.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's super. I think he's through main game and through some of the DLC stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, he plays it a lot. I've never played it, so I can't.
Yeah, I just know it's a gacha, and the system that it uses looks pretty interesting. Doesn't look like a bad game. I just don't tend to play those type of games.
Yeah.
Anything else you got? Just, Dan's progress. Keep us updated on that. I need to know when he clears 1,000.
It'll probably be tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the rate he's been going.
I'm about to say he probably that number probably goes up really fast per day.
Yeah. You know the Twitch streamers that do the text to talk messages, like where people can spend channel points to like post text to talk messages. He has that as well, and for the past like 2 days when he's been on Melania, people have just been putting like crazy stuff in there. Like one guy put in something and it's like Elden 3 is still out. I'm still watching Dan try to beat Melania. It's like and one of them put in this whole story and he's like, so when I first started Dan fight Melania, it's like I was in college, and it's like now I'm putting my kids through college, and it's like we still get together every night and watch Dan in front of the TV. It's like, and then he puts in, it's not going 12,600,050.
It's not going to 12.
Because that's like one of Dan's favorite taglines. It's like, it's not going 400.
It's not going X. Yeah, it's not going 1,000. All right.
It's not going 12 million.
I imagine someone's already also donated her starting speech. I'm the breaker of. I've yet to be broken, or.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe.
God.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And somebody like put in the thing. It's like Dan needs to change. He talked about, since they've been just like running that just like straight in a row. He's like, I need to change the price of this. And somebody responded, it's like, change the price to how many ever deaths you have to Melania.
Oh my god. That's
because I think he actually uses bits for it instead of channel points.
Yeah.
And I think it's like 500 bits to do it right now. And so they were like, change it to whatever the channel points or the deaths are. So it would be up to like 680 bits
hey,
at
man,
the moment.
You can get a cent every single time you fail. Paid to lose. God, that's great. Anime. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, speaking of, Dan's not streaming tomorrow, so it won't be tomorrow. It'll probably be Wednesday.
Yeah, he's definitely going to hit it, though, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What time does he normally get in? I might want to be there for 1,000.
He starts at 9:30, but he does a whole opening thing where he goes through like Discord and stuff like that. So normally he doesn't start playing till like 10:15.
All right, that's good. 10:15ish.
Yeah. I normally have time to go through my whole morning meetings and everything.
Wow.
Before he starts.
Before there's actual gameplay.
Yeah. You're also not missing much. It's just the same thing over and over at the moment.
God.
I did finally beat Demon Souls.
Hey, congrats.
I got through and beat it. And have you ever played Demon Souls?
No. Mm-mm.
So the way Demon Souls works is you have 5 zones, and each zone has like zones within the zones, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually look at like a progression guide, like they have a guide on what order you're supposed to do things.
Yeah.
They list them out at like 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, 3-1, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I played it the first time, if you actually followed that,
yep.
I got down to probably 5-2.
Okay. Dirty Colossus.
Is where I first stopped at. All right. So at that point, if you look below that, where all those 3-3s, 4-3s, 5-3s are,
mm-hmm.
those are just boss fights.
Oh, just walk there and do a boss fight?
Yes, the bosses as soon as you walk through the fog in the next area.
Oh, nice.
So the first time I played through it and quit playing, I literally just had a gauntlet of 5 bosses to go to beat the game.
Wow. You were so close.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, man. Oh, live and learn.
There is one boss there, though. The 1/4 boss, that old King Allen.
Yeah.
He has a move that takes levels away.
Are you serious?
Yes, and you don't get them back when you die.
Whoa, that's insane.
Which means every time you die, it gets harder.
That's insane. Dude, talk about having to make sure you're fucking over-leveled to, like, even start attempting. Jesus Christ. Dude, that's...
Yeah, I was running full strength build with, like, a battle axe. And I get to him, and the move that he still souls well is a melee move. And so I was getting hit with it every time he did it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not running dodge, I was running shield.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's blockable either. So I'm just getting destroyed by this move. And so I had leveled up a bow because I was carrying a bow around with me for some like flying enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I just fought that whole fight with the bow. I was just like, stay away from me.
Don't even touch me, dog. I can't even.
Just run away and shoot an arrow.
Became a magic user. Range, dex, strength based.
That's how I ended up beating it.
Dude. God. How many arrows did it take?
It was not that many, only about 60 or so.
Oh, that's not that bad.
And there's actually one spot in it that when he does a certain move, if you hit him with an arrow while he's channeling that move, he will occasionally just start channeling it again. So you can get him in a loop.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Ryan asks, by the way, what will the next big game be that brings back the whole group?
Well, we thought it was going to be Gotham Knights, but that's only a 2-player game.
Yeah. Honestly, man, nothing has really been announced that's been that same type of, like, multiplayer, 4x people.
Both of you should get Elden Ring and we'll do a co-op playthrough.
Yeah, I'm down. Like, I want to play some other games, though, before I play something as good as Elden Ring, because I know what it's like to play the best thing in a series and then try to work backwards.
Which I'm doing right now.
Yeah, so, like, yeah. I've got Sekiro. I'm gonna play probably Sekiro first, and then I'll play that one. But, yeah. Like, for real, man, I wish there was something. Like, Gotham Knights is cool, but that's now only 2 players. Starfield? That's a single player.
So. Yeah, and it also got pushed back. It's not coming out this year.
It's not even coming out this year. It's like really, like.
And it's not coming to PlayStation anyway.
Is that Vin Diesel?
If it's not, Vin Diesel needs to sue them.
Well, it is though. That's awesome. Bayonetta 3. A lot of good single-player games. Maybe Hogwarts. Is that the single-player too, or is that going to be a multiplayer?
I would imagine single-player.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I should have...
Kerbal Space Program 2?
Yeah, why do you need a 2? I don't, like...
I've been meaning to play that. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty good for people.
I think it's on the, Is it on the new PlayStation thing that comes out? Which comes out next week, by the way.
Which one?
The new PlayStation service.
Oh, yeah. That should be exciting. It'll be on a Tuesday drop like everything else?
No, it's Monday.
Oh, wow, holy shit. Is it always Monday, or am I...
I don't know. It's just... It was advertised as June 13th, so...
Sweet. That would be fun. We can upgrade and talk about that. Brian asks family. I don't know. What do you
No,
think?
family is from Fast and Furious. It's the line that Vin
family.
Diesel
Oh,
said.
yeah. Why don't anybody from their universe have sex in the reverse cowgirl position? Because you don't turn your back on family. Vin Diesel. Crossfire X. I've never even heard of this game. Xbox players. No one fucking cares. Elden Ring. It's on here. This is it. Gran Turismo 7.
There is a
This was fun.
mod. So I will say, I know. So if you guys really seriously want to do a co-op playthrough of Elden Ring, I would suggest buying it on PC.
Okay.
The reason being is there is a mod out now that is a true co-op mod for Elden Ring.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it's not like having to
Summoning
do
bells.
it. Well, so like you would play through the whole game co-op instead of each person having to progress through. Like you beat a boss and then having to go beat the boss for the other one and then go beat it for the third one. It would be a true, straight up co-op experience.
That'd be
I've also
cool.
considered picking it up on PC anyway because I want to play the randomization mod.
That randomizer would probably be a lot of fun.
Just a suggestion, though. Obviously, don't go buy it now. But I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, I've still got to play Sekiro, so, and I'm still on Rogue Legacy NG plus 6. I need NG plus 7 to finally beat it, though, so I'm pretty close. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, that was fun. Definitely not the next big game, but it was a nice thing to play with each other. Then Tiny Tina's, which you've played, and I played with you for a little bit, but that definitely didn't feel like the next big thing either. World War One, you want to play a World War One shooter?
It's like, well, the only thing worse than World War II shooters are World War One shooters.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Free to online FPS and mechs. Now you can mess me with that. Advanced Wars. Lego Star Wars. This is it. The game that brings the group together.
Probably only 2-player.
Probably. Local co-op feature. But, it won't have multiplayer?
No.
Okay.
No servers, apparently. So you'll have to do share play.
Oh, Redfall. Vampires. Modern Warfare 2. This is it. Yep. I mean, it's a decent chance to have at least some people play but probably not the whole thing again. Kill the Justice League. Yeah. Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights was the contender until 4 became 2. So that it is what it is.
That is another one though that you might see someone mod for 4-player on.
Yeah, I can see that. So we should all buy the game on PC. Can't do that though. I've already pre-ordered. You got anything else on your side? I've dried up on mine. I don't have any good news.
Yeah, I think I'm done too.
Sweet. Well, as always, thank you for tuning in to the Twitch version, the podcast version, and Spotify will be up tomorrow. Content will also be uploaded to YouTube now. Yep. Hopefully we'll catch you all next Monday. And if you like anime, watch my TikTok. Bye.